Hey everybody, it's Jen again, and in this installment of AI Amazing Teaching Tools, we are going to talk about a tool called Question Well. So before we get into it, just again a quick overview of the plan. I'm going to demo for about 10 minutes, then I'm going to ask you to take 2 minutes to jot down in this Google form the first idea that pops into your head about how you might use Question Well in your teaching and learning. And then you're going to log into the tool and attempt to create the idea yourself. Once you've exported something from Question Well, I would love for you to make a copy and drop it into this Google folder here, where we're going to share this with all the folks who take this tutorial or who attend the PD, and hopefully we can crowdsource ideas and information on Question Well from there. So, the rules. Again, hopefully you're familiar with the rules at this point, but never ever enter any student identifiable information into the prompts that you put into AI, and be sure that you go over anything that is produced by the AI. It will do 80% of the work for you, but you got to put in the 20% going over what is produced to ensure that it's as free of bias as it's possible, that it's accurate, that it's conveying the information you're hoping to convey to your students. As always, human brains get the last say. So we'll get right into it. Question Well is one of, if not the simplest AI platform that I'm going to show you in this set of modules. And it basically allows you to produce 10 questions. If you use the paid version, you can produce more than 10 questions, but with the free version, it's 10. You can export it into a Google slide. Can produce short readings that you can export into Google Slides, or you can export the questions into one of the gaming sites that you see here, Blooket, Kahoot, etc. So let me show you what it looks like, talk you through it, and then you'll get a chance to give it a try. So if you're following on the slide deck, click up here in Question Well. It'll bring you to the home page where you'll be able to log in using your school Google account. I am already logged in here, so I'm going to switch tabs. Whoops, I'm going to switch tabs, and this is the home page. So this is how simple it looks every single time you use it. If you if you spring for the paid version, you can make 20 questions. For the free version, you get 5 or 10. You can choose multiple choice, but you can also, if you spring for the paid version, choose these other types of questions. You can type in a subject, or you can be very specific and give it a very specific prompt. I'm going to use the subject tectonic plates, and you can choose your language, but just like many of the other platforms, there are several languages from which you can choose. Choose your reading level, and so I'm going to choose a slightly lower reading level. And then based on what? Well, if you click in this space here, you have a choice between 3 things with the paid version. You can copy and paste in your text, or it will generate text for you about tectonic plates at an 8th grade, 6th grade reading level. We could search for a YouTube video about tectonic plates. The danger here, of course, is if you choose one of these, you should watch it first before you assign it to your students. But here are some videos on tectonic plates. And so let's just say, for example, that I've already watched this video and I think it's a good one to show my kids. I will add it here. And then once you have that video in place, it includes the transcript for you. And then you click Save. And then you generate your questions. Now, I'm going to show you this create interactive video option in just a second, but right now I'm going to hit generate questions, and it takes a second for it to generate the questions. Once the questions pop up, in similar fashion to some of the other AI tools, you'll have multiple choice questions, some vocab, you'll have some short answer questions that you can copy and paste. They aren't exportable to Google Slides unless you spring for the paid version. But it will give you a set of questions that will make the students at least focus in on what's being taught in the video and not have them mindlessly watching video. So I'm going to pause here while it does its thing, and then I'll come back as soon as it's done churning through its process here. Okay, here we go. Here's the output from that YouTube video. It's created a reading based on the transcript, and it has modified it for a 6th grade reading level. You still have the option of editing the reading if you wanted to. You could copy and paste text into this space, or you can adjust the text and then click save. I'm just going to leave it as is. Oops. Then you have learning outcomes over here. Based on the reading, this is what QuestionWell believes are the learning outcomes. Up here, you have some discussion questions based on this, not multiple choice questions, not necessarily something that you could have the kids fill out and take off. This is more in-class discussion questions, and you have some vocabulary. If we scroll down a little bit, I'm going to go back to comprehension. You'll see these multiple choice questions here, and here is where you can export these to Google Slides. Notice how over here you can add an image, you can clone the question and then adjust it, but I'm going to click on export and look at all of these options for exporting. If you were creating a Kahoot or a Blooket about tectonic plates, this could be your launch pad for that. If you want to just export directly to Google Slides and modify, you can. You could create a Google form out of this and copy and paste it in your Canvas as a quick exit ticket after you've taught the students a lesson on tectonic plates. Just for examples purposes, I'm going to click on Google Slides. Oops, I didn't select any questions. It's prompting me, do you want to select all the questions? And I'm like, yep, I'm going to select them all. Then I got to click export one more time, click Google Slides, and it'll do its thing. I'll pause while it turns through, and I'll be back when it's done. All right, so this is what you get when it's done doing its thing. It's all set. It's not asking to connect to your drive like a lot of other platforms do. So when you view it, it's going to say, do you want to make a copy? And that copy is one that you own. That way the site doesn't have to have access to your Google Drive. So here I'm going to make a copy. And when it pops up, you will see the questions and the reading about plate tectonics. Give it a sec, they'll start to populate over here on the left-hand side. So here you go, here are your questions. One of the other things that you could do is export that set into a one of those other gaming platforms. So up here I have an example of phases of the moon, and I exported the 10 questions from QuestionWell into Blooket, and here are the 10 questions about phases of the moon based on a NASA article. So let me go back here to the output, what it just produced for us. Here's all the plate tectonics information. So if this works for you, fantastic. You want to see another example? I'm going to go back to my save sets, things that I've already done. And this is the Faces of the Moon piece that I just talked about. It wasn't a video. You can see the video links they have that little symbol right here. This was based on a text. It was an article from the internet. So I'm going to click on this, and it took the article and adjusted the reading so that it could be easily consumed by a 6th grade student. It came up with learning outcomes, discussion questions, and vocabulary. And then it also churned out those 10 questions that you can export into whatever format you find most useful. That's pretty much it. It's very basic, but it can be very helpful in creating extension, anchoring, or offering students extra opportunities to engage in the content if they finish early. So give it a try, see what you think, and make sure you fill out the Google form and put any output you do create today in that Google Drive to share with other folks. Thanks a lot. Let me know if you have any questions.